From the station working for you, this is Good Morning Indiana, streaming now.
And good morning, I'm Lauren Casey. The time right now is 4:27. It is Monday and Labor Day. Happy Labor Day to you. Thanks for waking up early with us to start your Monday. Let's talk about a few stories and our forecast before we get into the show this morning. Starting with some violence in the overnight hours. Gunfire in the north side leading to one person dead, 4 others hurt. This all happened around 2 o'clock this morning between 38th and 39th Street along Graceland Avenue. Again, at least 5 people there hurt. Police are investigating, as you can see, and we'll be checking in with our Alyssa Donovan, who will have more on this situation. And we also have another round of violence in the overnight hours, so we're going to have more details on everything that's happened here over the weekend in the Circle City. That is coming up here on Good Morning Indiana. Taking a turn now to our forecast, Todd. Yesterday was a picture perfect day, I would say, for getting outside, and the evening it got a little bit cooler, which is kind of nice. So what can we expect for the Labor Day holiday?
You know, we're going to start to warm things up a little bit here today, Lauren, and temperatures today are going to be a little bit warmer as well. But there are better rain chances in the forecast for the day today. And you can see a few of those spotty showers in the center of your screen on radar with temperatures that are in the 70s. As the morning goes on, we will start to build in the chance of these storms a little more. So especially in northern locations, you'll have the best opportunity today to pick up some of these showers and storms. And as we get into the afternoon and evening, it's not out of the question that 1 or 2 of them could be borderline strong to possibly severe. So that's something we'll dive into here for not only your Labor Day holiday, but we'll look at the rest of your week coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, Todd, thank you so much. We know over the weekend a lot of people getting outside, doing things for Labor Day. And Indiana University is actually going after people based on social media video of people that look college-aged on Lake Monroe over the weekend. So they are trying to investigate to see if these are students that go to IU Bloomington. If so, they could face expulsion, suspension, a number of different issues. So we're going to have more on that story and what IU is doing to crack down on what they think could be students. That's coming up. Plus, we're going to take a look at the latest COVID numbers. These are from yesterday. The latest numbers as of the lunch hour: 851 new cases reported in the Hoosier Strait, bringing the total number of cases to more than 99,000. We also had 2 deaths reported here in the Hoosier State, and the positivity rate at 8.8%. So we're going to have more on the coronavirus pandemic and your Labor Day holiday. That's all coming up right here on Good Morning Indiana on this Monday.
From the station working for you, this is Good Morning Indiana, streaming now.
Gunfire on the city's north side, leaving 1 person dead, 4 others injured. Breaking now at 4:30, what police say led up to that gunfire. Plus, a better plan to protect the most vulnerable Hoosiers from COVID-19. This morning, what one candidate for governor says needs to happen. And the Colts home opener just a couple weeks away. Working for you, we're looking at how the blue and white is preparing for you to be in the stands. But first, here at 4:30, I want to thank you for joining our team here on Good Morning Indiana on this Labor Day holiday. I'm Lauren Casey, and Todd Clausen is back in studio with me. Todd, it is a great day. It's great to have you back.
Yeah, it's good to be back here for the foreseeable future, Lauren. So it's good to be able to see you in person instead of from my basement and across the split screen here as we continue to social distance, though, here in the studio. WRTV radar this morning showing a little bit of action here in northern locations as we kick off your Labor Day. And there's a few isolated downpours here from Muncie up into the Winchester area, and that's really just about it. But as we go throughout the morning hours, especially here in northern locations, this is where we're going to build in the best potential for some scattered storms throughout not only the morning hours, but into the afternoon hours as well. The further south you are today, in places like Bloomington, Columbus, Bedford, you'll have the opportunity for a few isolated storms, but we're not looking at anything widespread in your forecast for the day today. Temperatures right now, pretty comfortable. We're in the 70s. There's a little bit of humidity out there, but it's not terrible as far as humidity and mugginess goes. But as we work our way throughout the day, you're going to notice the storms start to build a little bit throughout the course of the morning hours, mainly in those northern locations. Should be up into the low 70s by the noon hour, and then eventually into the low 80s for your afternoon highs. Parts of the area will have the risk of severe storms today. We'll talk more about that for you coming up in just a few minutes. Lauren.
All right, Todd, thanks so much. Let's take a look right now at traffic as you're heading out on the roads. Pretty quiet this morning. This is I-70 at Rural Street and Keystone Avenue on the near east side of town. Traffic is moving along up to speed. As you can see, no delays to slow you down. So let's take a look here at I-465 and Meridian Street. This is up on the north side where you can see traffic is moving along up to speed in all directions. We'll keep a close eye on your roads this Labor Day holiday and let you know if there are any issues to avoid. Now to breaking news from the city's north side. Police say one person is dead. Several others are in the hospital following rounds of gunfire. This all happened just before 2 o'clock this morning between 38th and 39th Streets on Graceland Avenue. Police say at least 5 people were shot. One person died at the area hospital. This morning, conditions of those taken to the hospital not known at this time. Police say there was a gathering at a home before the shooting, and our Alyssa Donovan will have more on this latest round of gunfire coming up in a live report at the top of the hour. Also new from overnight, police say that a man is recovering after being shot on the city's west side. That shooting happened on 41st Place near 38th and Pike Plaza Road. Police say the victim was watching TV when gunfire hit him through the home's window. This morning, police are working to determine if that man was targeted. Police in Bloomington continue to investigate a triple homicide and suicide. This morning, investigators say it all happened at a home on Alcott Boulevard around 10:15 Sunday morning. Police say someone called police after entering a home with a key and finding one person dead. Investigators say 61-year-old man shot and killed his wife, 26-year-old daughter, and 18-year-old son before he died by suicide. The identities of those involved have not been released. Investigators stress that if you or someone you know is experiencing suicidal thoughts, there is help available. The National Suicide Hotline is available around the clock. Their number is 1-800-273-TALK. This morning, federal authorities say 8 missing children were rescued during a 5-day operation right here in Indianapolis. The U.S. Marshals Service says that the kids are between the ages of 6 and 17. The mission is being called Operation Homecoming. Authorities say the children are considered to be the most of the at-risk and challenging recovering cases in the area. The children were released to the Department of Child Services. One adult was arrested on charges including parental kidnapping. This morning, a near drowning is under investigation on Lake Schaefer near Monticello. State conservation officers say that just before 5 o'clock Sunday afternoon, they received a call of a man missing in the water near the Riviera Resort. That resort is located near Indiana Beach. After nearly 30 minutes of searching, the crews there found a 43-year-old man in 18 feet of water where he was last seen. The man was taken to the White County Hospital before being flown here to Indianapolis. This morning, we're told he's listed in critical condition. Turning now to the latest on the coronavirus pandemic and the impact it's having here on the Hoosier State. This morning, state health officials confirmed 851 new cases of the virus. Since the pandemic began, nearly 100,000 Hoosiers have tested positive for COVID-19. Over the last 7 days, of those tested 5.4% of those have tested positive for the coronavirus. And this morning, state health officials also confirmed 2 new coronavirus-related deaths. That means since March 3,100 Hoosiers have died with the coronavirus so far. 60% of the state's COVID-19 deaths happened in long-term care facilities. And so this morning, the Democratic candidate for governor says Indiana is not doing enough to protect our most vulnerable from the virus. WRTV Investigates has been tracking concerns in nursing homes since the beginning of this pandemic. Every day, about 27 nursing home residents test positive for COVID-19, and every week, about 24 of them die from the virus. While the state tested nearly all nursing home staff back in June and August, Indiana has not tested all long-term care residents. Dr. Woody Myers is running for governor, and he says more widespread and frequent testing of residents is needed to curb the future of outbreaks.
It upsets me. It makes me angry that we didn't respond better. So what should we do right now? Our testing resources should really be concentrated in places where the virus is most prevalent. And we know that our nursing home patients are at most risk, so they should get additional testing resources.
The federal government is sending testing kits to long-term care facilities throughout Indiana. Governor Holcomb's campaign says, quote, though every step of this global pandemic, Governor Holcomb has prioritized the health of Hoosiers, including those who call long-term care facilities home. their families, and our healthcare workers. While Woody advocates for more bureaucracy, Governor Holcomb continues to provide the necessary support and resources to help stem the impact of this pandemic on our vulnerable communities, end quote. Bars and clubs in Marion County are able to reopen this Tuesday. This morning, some industry leaders say that they're not happy with the updated public health order. But Brad Klopfenstein is the president of the Indiana Licensed Beverage Association, which represents independent bars across the state. He and other advocates say that the fact that restaurants that serve food have remained open for months at 50% capacity, it's the source of some frustrations. And bars in the surrounding counties, they've been open with fewer restrictions.
We're just trying to save an industry, and my fear is that if we don't allow some of these businesses to open back up, we're going to lose the neighborhood bars in Indiana.
25% doesn't even entice the bar owner to turn the power on. They're better off, unfortunately, staying closed. They can't understand why the guy up the street can do it, but I can't do it, and it's really, really stressful.
So Marion County has the most COVID-19 cases in Indiana, nearly 19,000 cases since the start of the pandemic. The next highest number of total confirmed cases is nearby with just over 4,100 in Hamilton County. Longtime Indiana Senator and former Indianapolis mayoral candidate Jim Merritt is stepping down. Merritt says he'll be leaving his post in November. The Republican senator is the longest-serving current state senator. Merritt is known for Indiana's Lifeline law that allows underage Hoosiers to call 911 in an effort to save the life of an inebriated minor without the fear of prosecution. This morning, it's unclear what Merritt plans to do after stepping down. Merritt's term runs until 2022. A Civil War and Indian War soldier honored over the weekend with a headstone dedication ceremony at Crown Hill Cemetery. Jacob Hawker served the 3rd Battalion Pennsylvania Infantry during the Civil War. According to his family, he took an arrow to the neck during an engagement and survived. When he died, he was buried in an unmarked grave at Crown Hill. Family members say they have heard stories for years about Hawker, but it wasn't until his great-great-grandson started doing research that they learned where he was buried. On Saturday, family members all came together to honor his service.
To me, I feel like it's an honor to him that is more than 100 years past due. All soldiers should be honored for their service. Regardless of what they did, they sacrificed.
It's almost more special for this to happen so many years later for his descendants to be able to honor his passing and his service to our country. If this would have happened 100 years ago when he died, we might never have known any more history. So it's really been special to be a part of that.
After his discharge, Hawker became a veterinarian in Fountain Square until he died in 1911. His headstone was provided by the Veterans Administration. Well, the Colts home opener scheduled for September 20th here at Lucas Oil Stadium could be a tough ticket to get. The team announcing plans to allow a maximum of 2,500 fans at Lucas Oil Stadium for the game. The Colts say they determined the attendance number after discussions with the Marion County Health Department. This morning, capacity for the other games is still being decided. The team plans to release specific health and safety procedures for the home games later this week. The Horseshoe opens the season on the road this Sunday at Jacksonville. This morning, more than 190,000 Americans have died with the coronavirus. Coming up, the plea health officials have for you this holiday weekend. Plus, wildfires continue to burn in California this morning. Still ahead, why firefighters say that this season is one of the worst in the state's history. Todd.
And Lauren, already a few scattered showers out there, especially north of Indianapolis. Right now they're pretty spotty, but especially in northern locations for this Labor Day holiday, if you do have outdoor plans, unfortunately, you're going to have to remain pretty weather aware for the potential of these showers and storms moving through. We'll talk all about them in more detail coming up when Good Morning Indiana continues right here on WRTV.
Welcome back. The time right now is 4:44. It is Monday. It's a Labor Day holiday. Here's a live look at your commute on I-69. This is up at State Road 37 in the Fishers area. Camera swinging around just a little bit there this morning, but traffic is traveling up to speed both northbound and southbound. No crashes or delays in this spot to slow down your commute. So this Labor Day, health experts are worried that celebrations to mark the unofficial end of summer could spell more trouble for the fight against the coronavirus. ABC's Faith Abube is in Washington now with the latest.
Labor Day in a pandemic should look a lot different this year.
It's a busier than normal Labor Day.
But new images of packed beaches from New Jersey to California.
We still have our mask on, so yes, of course, we're concerned about it. We social distance.
And crowded bars in Florida and Tennessee, fueling fears about the holiday potentially sparking a surge in COVID-19 cases.
Now is not the time to let up.
This as the number of states seeing an increase in cases tripled in just 1 week, going from 10 to at least 30 states, many linked to college campuses. At the University of Wisconsin-Madison, 9 Greek houses are under quarantine after dozens of students tested positive. San Diego State also seeing a rise in cases, telling its students to stay in their dorms until Tuesday. Meanwhile, as Labor Day celebrations continue, health experts are pleading with Americans, if you must, choose outdoor activities over indoor gatherings.
We don't want to repeat a repeat of Memorial Day when people got complacent.
A new forecast over the weekend predicting the U.S. could more than double its death toll and hit 400,000 deaths by the end of the year.
The choices that we make when we go to the store, when we go to work, when we interact with each other, that's what's going to determine whether or not those additional 300,000 of our friends and family are with us to celebrate 2021.
And though a vaccine would help slow the spread, health officials stressing production should not be rushed.
Let science drive the decision-making about whether to approve a vaccine or not. I think the majority of Americans will take it. If politicians end up making the decision here, then I do think a lot of people will be hesitant.
And experts say it could take weeks to determine how activities over this holiday weekend affect coronavirus cases across the country. Faith Abube, ABC News, Washington.
Businesses hit by natural disasters may not get as big of an insurance payout as usual. Industry experts say disaster claims are usually to cover business interruption, which is based on recent income. For many, revenue has gone down a lot because of the pandemic. Lawyers tell Reuters that means some companies likely won't survive, especially those in areas hit hard by wildfires and Hurricane Laura. Well, this is now the worst fire season in California history, and it has months left to go still. This morning, CAL FIRE says that wildfires there have been burning more than 2 million acres. Fire season extends into October and November, and officials say that firefighters aren't getting any breaks. The Creek Fire is the latest crisis. It's 0% contained this morning, and it's forced the rescue of 224 people from popular camping area. At least 20 evacuees were left with injuries.
I haven't seen an event like this, and to see all of the interagency partners come together with the amount of resources, with the uncertainty of what was actually going to come off the helicopter, there were plenty of resources to ensure that all were provided the care that they needed.
In addition to the fires, many on the West Coast are dealing with dangerous heat wave. On Sunday, Los Angeles County sets all-time records at 121 degrees. Back here at home, it's pretty comfortable out there right now, Todd.
Yeah, you know, temperatures are in the 60s and 70s here, Lauren. The humidity not super high. We're pretty dry as well. A lot of us need some rainfall. I know some of you in northern locations got quite a bit yesterday, but as that front fell south, there was just a few sprinkles in the metro area, not much of anything down to the south, and it's really the same script today. The further north you are, the better potential for the rainfall compared to southern locations. 70 right now in India, as well as Bloomington. 71 is the current temperature in the Tipton area. So as we work our way throughout the day today, I know many of you probably have some outdoor activities that you may be doing with the family, and you notice there are rain chances basically through all day parts, but they kind of ramp up a little bit as we get into the peak heating of the day. Once we get, I would say, past 2-3 o'clock, you see that's where the best rain chances are, but there will still be some rain chances here this morning. You notice to the north, we have a few spotty showers speckled here on the map from Peru over towards the Muncie area. To the south, it's mainly clear. I could see the moon on my drive into work earlier this morning here in downtown Indianapolis, and it's part of a front that's just slowly going to be sinking its way to the south as we work our way throughout the course of the day today. So watch out as the sun comes up. Additional storms along that front are going to start to blossom this morning. Again, to the north, that's where it's potentially the wettest. To the south, it's going to be mainly dry. And then as we work our way into the afternoon hours, that front's slowly going to start to sink to the south, and that'll take rain chances and bring them a little further to the south. The question mark in the forecast today is how far south does that front get, because it's that front that's going to act as the trigger mechanism for these storms to fire up across the area. Storm Prediction Center has us under a marginal risk for severe weather. That's the lowest threat on our spectrum of severe weather. So we're not looking at anything more than an isolated thunderstorm warning with maybe a little bit of hail mixed in here or there and some gusty winds. And if you remember back to last week, I told you the 7-day planning forecast was going to change a little bit, and it depended where that trough or the cooler air sets in. Well, look, we are on the warm side of things, so we're not going to get into that cool air. In Denver, though, they're going from temperatures near 100 degrees to winter storm watches and the potential for snow with that big push of cold air that comes in during the middle of the week. But again, as you look at our 7-day planning forecast, we are going to remain on the warm side of things. In fact, highs tomorrow and Wednesday up to near 90 degrees across the area. And then as we get into Thursday and Friday, a little bit cooler with partly cloudy skies. Best rain chances in the forecast this week are going to be during the day today, and then again probably on Wednesday. Lauren?
All right, Todd, thanks so much. Let's take a look at a construction zone you may run into if you're heading out the door early this morning. This is a live look at I-70, a view near Ronald Reagan Parkway, and this could impact you if you're traveling to or from the Indianapolis International Airport this morning. So just be aware of some lane restrictions. Everything's pretty quiet out this way. Traffic is traveling up to speed. So this morning, IndyCar drivers and their teams are preparing to race next weekend at Mid-Ohio. The doubleheader has been up in the air as Ohio Governor Mike DeWine weighed whether or not fans would be allowed. The approval came down on Saturday. IndyCar says the event's promoter will be in contact with the fans soon. Teams will return to Indy on October 2nd and 3rd for the Harvest GP. Exercise could have detrimental effects for a person not too far from COVID-19 recovery. This morning, a new study details how COVID-19 patients have risks for heart problems. Cardiac MRI testing of 100 adults found nearly 80 had structural changes to their hearts. The study author recommends anyone who recovered from COVID-19 symptoms to undergo a cardiac MRI so potential inflammation can be found. It is advertised to wait at least 6 months from symptom recovery before getting back into a rigorous exercise routine. Dozens of common prescriptions and over-the-counter drugs could cause memory problems. The drugs belong to a class of medications called anticholinergics. They treat conditions ranging from a common cold to bladder conditions to even depression. Researchers at the University of California, San Diego found people taking at least one of those drugs were 74% more likely to develop memory or mental impairment. A Michigan boy has found his match just ahead this morning, while his mom says the newest addition to their family will teach him an invaluable lesson. Plus, photos show packed party barges on Lake Monroe near Bloomington over the weekend. Coming up at 5 o'clock, YIU and state conservation officers are investigating what went on. The time right now is 4:52. Stick around, we'll be right back. This morning, a Michigan boy with a birth defect has found his perfect match. 2-year-old Bentley Boyers got to bring home his new puppy on Friday. Last week, Bentley's dad, Brandon, came to the animal shelter to look at 2 chickens he was thinking of adopting. When this pooch caught his eye, the puppy has a cleft lip. Bentley was born with a cleft lip as well, so the family feels the puppy will show Bentley that he isn't alone.
To see him have something in common with the puppy means a lot, because he can grow up and understand that him and his puppy have both had something that they can share in common.
Well, the animal shelter says they don't normally see puppies with cleft palates. Pretty cute there. All right, Todd, what can we expect for our Labor Day holiday forecast?
You know, unfortunately, there's some showers and storms in the forecast, Lauren, especially across northern locations. We're not looking at all-day rains here, but you definitely do need to be weather aware in those northern locations. If you have a barbecue to go to, or maybe you're just going out for a bike ride or a walk through the neighborhood. And then we heat things up Tuesday and Wednesday with temperatures near 90 degrees. And then more seasonable weather will finally return as we work our way towards Thursday and Friday with highs right around 80 degrees. The time now is 4:57. Stay with us. We're back at the top of the hour here on Good Morning Indiana.